So the next step on my journey of returning to cricket is an indoor net session, which is a first for me. I've never had an indoor net session, and I've never been up against one of these. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike and I am the old bloke playing cricket. And finally, for the first time, I'm actually going to start playing cricket, or at least be in the nets playing cricket. After a 30-year break, this is the first time I'm going to be actually facing up to a ball. It is indoors, it is on an automatic ball machine. So those two things are both first times for me. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to start off really slowly. So I've got a couple of objectives for myself. One, to just get bat on ball. Second, try and actually not nick out and make sure that I get the ball sent in the center of the bat as often as possible. And as I said, nothing massive, nothing aerial, just playing through the ball. Starting off really slowly, nothing massive in terms of speed. We'll see how it goes. I'll start on the lowest setting and build up as time goes on. Let's see how things go.
At 40 miles an hour, the ball is really slowly. This is equivalent to the slowest international spin bowler. The ball's still quite short pitched, but bouncing quite a lot. That said, it was useful just to spend a few balls getting bat on ball and getting my eye in. Summary for the first session: 14 balls faced, just 1 played and missed and 1 left alone. Moving upwards now to 50 miles an hour, and I also set a very slight away movement tendency on the machine just to test myself outside that off stump. At first everything was going reasonably well, and I was still getting myself used to just watching the ball out of the machine, which was great practice. That said, still missing the ball through excessive movement of my body. That LBW was blatant and quite plumb, and then there was also that just not covering the away movement and snicking behind. Quite a few played and misses in this section. So summary of the session: 22 balls faced, 3 played and missed and 2 out. Bumping the speed up once more, up to 54 miles an hour. And actually at this pace I actually felt most comfortable. I think the ball was relatively well pitched up outside off stump, keeping the same degree of away bias. That said, still managed to have a couple of dodgy positions and situations. The LBW was one of them, and a couple of inside edges as well. But really started to feel that I was starting to get into it now at this point in time. So some of the rust coming off, movement a little bit better, 18 balls faced, 2 played and missed, and that LBW out. Caught up now in my overconfidence, I lifted the machine up to 60 miles an hour and kept a very good outside off bias. That said, I managed to miss the first 4 balls before being spectacularly bowled by the machine. What I did notice was that the machine was now pitching the ball right up and practically hitting the block hole every single ball. I was struggling with my footwork as well as my timing, and this, in combination with the now faster ball being delivered, made it really difficult. I really struggled in this session and probably should have taken the speed back again to around 54-55 miles an hour rather than retain it at 60. But it was a really interesting lesson in terms of finding my weaknesses and the positions that I'm not actually able to adequately defend. 21 balls faced, 9 played and missed, and that spectacular bowl. Still caught up in the ridiculous overconfidence in my own ability, I sent the machine up to 65 miles an hour, now topping 100 kilometers an hour. I found myself again unable to adequately and accurately hit the ball every single time on a consistent basis. What I therefore decided to do was start training myself just to leave the ball, follow the ball and leave the ball. So a lot more in this session of actually leaving the ball. The machine did not manage to get me out. I did not manage to get myself out either. And though I did consciously try to make the decision to leave the ball outside that off stump and make a deliberate action of leaving the ball, the summary for the session doesn't look that good. 9 played and missed and 9 left alone.
I set out with a couple of goals to try and get bat on ball, which I achieved, although not always out of the center of the bat, but I got bat on ball. To try and be a little bit defensive, I found myself lapsing out of that, and to try not to go out, well, I think there were at least 4 or 5. Didn't quite achieve that purpose. I went from 40 miles an hour up to 65 miles an hour, and at the 65 miles an hour mark, the ball was consistently outside off, and I was actually just training myself to leave the ball, which I think proved quite useful once I got into it. But overall, for the first time using an indoor net and a bowling machine, not too bad. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.